Week 16, Thursday Night Football, Chargers Broncos. I got 3 player props for you here. Let's get into the picks. Pick number 1, Courtland Sutton over 5.5 receptions. Love this number because it's currently sitting at plus money over on FanDuel, plus 126. Love that here for Courtland Sutton. Obviously, he is the current and most valuable offensive weapon in this Denver passing attack and just in their offense in general. And he's coming off of a down game last week against the Colts, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. That game turned into a blowout pretty quickly. They won by 2 scores fairly easily, weren't really forced to throw the ball a whole lot. But with that being said, prior to that game, 6 consecutive games of 6+ catches and 9+ targets for Courtland Sutton. So not only has he been elite in terms of his production, the volume has been very consistent as well. So give me the over here on Courtland Sutton. Pick number 2, we're taking Justin Herbert to not throw an interception here. Love the spot here for Justin Herbert in terms of the game environment. Right? I'm looking at a slower pace game that potentially likes the under here in this one. Not a lot of pass attempts potentially for Herbert, and obviously Jim Harbaugh came into town and asked Herbert to change up a lot of his game style. In previous years, Herbert was a gunslinger, right, throwing the ball all around the yard. So far this season, that has not been the case. They're running the ball more, they're playing more conservative on the offensive side, only 30.8 pass attempts per game for Justin Herbert, and he's excelled in not turning the ball over. He's played mistake-free football all season long, only 2 games with interception, 2 total interceptions so far this season for Herbert, so give me the under on his interception total tonight. Pick number 3, final play on the board, Josh Palmer over 29.5 receiving yards. I do like this spot for Josh Palmer despite a bad game in Week 15. Again, another game that blew out pretty quickly. And although Ladd McConkey did return in Week 15 when he was out in Week 14, and obviously Josh Palmer had the big game in Week 14, I'm not really too concerned about the production dip that we saw in Week 15 with Ladd back. Obviously, when you look at some of the underlying numbers here for Palmer, that's where the encouraging signs are. He ran the second most routes on the team with 31 routes last week. Again, it's an encouraging sign there. And despite, again, the bad week, 8 out of his last 10 games, Palmer has cleared this number. So I do think this line is just a little bit too low here, including his last matchup against Denver. Similar scenario, went for about 40 yards in that game. Denver, while they have been a stout defense, and I do think they do have an elite pass defense as well, I think they're a little bit of a pass funnel. They've been really good against the run, but right now they're allowing the 12th most receiving yards per game to opposing wide receivers. So give me the over on Josh Palmer at 29.5 receiving yards. For more picks like these, check out scoresnods.com and subscribe to the Scores Nods YouTube channel.